views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Good morning this morning and welcome back to Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, your station for fresh news, smart talk all day. It is Tuesday the 6th of January 2026 and you are on the clock with, now I couldn't figure out, good morning Crystal.
Good morning, Erin.
I couldn't figure out what I wanted to call myself today and then I just realized today is the 6th, right? This marks is it Epiphany? This marks the end of the 12th. This is the 12th day of Christmas. Producer, today's the 12th day of Christmas? Good stuff. And you know what I realized, Crystal, in the general audience? Mm-hmm. Ain't nobody send me no 7 swans swaying. They didn't send me no 5 geese a goosing.
I think we have a Bahamian version of that, right?
I don't want nothing on the Bahamian version list.
Why?
A Judah the Lion, Bahamian Trey, a number of people. I think I may have even saw Sawyer Boy. Sawyer Boy and Charlie Bahamas, right? That's where it came from. I don't want anything from that list unless it's Sawyer Boy. Sawyer Boy, I can't wait for you to come on my show again.
But one of the things on that list is a conch.
It's not the type of conch. That's not the reference. That's not the type of... No. Plus, aren't you the environmentalist? Aren't you discouraging us from eating conch?
One conch, eating conch in moderation is fine.
See, that's the problem. One conch, eating conch in moderation. I am not a conch. I mean, I am a conch.
Conch was the number one thing. So it was one conch. It was, what was number 2? It was one conch. It was a conch at the bottom of the sea. It was, yeah.
You can give me a conch at the bottom of the sea?
Yeah, because you could go free diving for it, bring it back.
A pet conch. The woman said, I'm going to give you a pet conch, and you got to keep it at the bottom of the sea.
They are so cute, though, and good, because you don't have to worry about animals in captivity if you do that. You can go and visit it in its natural habitat, which is highly encouraged.
I must put the conch in the sea and then expect for the conch to be there?
The conch is at the bottom of the sea. You just got to find it. And once you find it, you could come back and visit it regularly.
This woman from Bikini Bottom, SpongeBob is your boy. She said, just put the conch in the ocean at the bottom. And when you want to see the conch, go see. The conch could be in Monaco. The conch could be like, Miss, you think I could be here when you come back?
But if you really build that strong relationship
with the conch,
they may hang around.
See, because you think I'm a conch. That's what happened. You think I'm the conch. Good morning, Crystal, darling. Sergeant, but yes, I noticed today is the 6th of January. It marks the 12th day of Christmas. And I think this is the beginning and the end of Advent and the beginning of Epiphany, right? I think. Anyway, I expect pinches to be heading my way soon directly from the Anglican community because I'm an Anglican and I'm supposed to know these things. Okay. All Anglicans.
Pinches.
Pinches is the way that you moderate behavior in Bahamian society. Right? And no matter how old you get in this society, there are people who are older than you who could pinch you if they feel you need a little bit of moderation. It's a part of the social contract, right? And you'll see big man, 30, 40, 50, like when they go to church, and mom, auntie, their cousin, Grammy, when they say morning or they give the cue, those men jump right away because they know what their obligation is in the community, right? It's a part of the social contract. But me being a conch, no, that ain't a part of the social contract. So welcome to the show. We're going into the headlines this morning. Lots to talk about. Bahamas recommits to international law principles. Over 200 received cataract surgeries through China partnership. Davao government waiting on word from China before work starts on new hospital. In today's Tribune, a follow-up on yesterday's story. Mom cried for help, but no one came. Boundaries Commission expected to propose splitting two constituencies. Tensions boil over at PLP meeting for Southern Shores. This is just the front page. This is the first page. We're going to delve into all of that in a second. I also have another set of stories, like on the deck, Crystal. On the 2nd of January, the Guardian ran this article, Menace raises alarm over vehicles driving on Goodman's Bay Park. That's when I remembered that Goodman's Bay is a park and not a parking lot. Bang. And then I thought, oh, wait, we have a story from yesterday's paper. Glover Roll says renovations of Golden Gate's parks funded by Chinese community. I thought that's an interesting story, and I wanted to follow it up with two older stories. First, from earlier this summer, Barnaby fails to address budget overrun by beaches and parks. And then from last year, some of this, approximately the same time, the Barnaby story was the 13th of June, 25. The Keith Bell story was the 18th of June, 24. Bell spends majority of budget speech lambasting FNM, right? So I want to put those stories together. But before we get there, your daily dose of positive. Now, I saw a headline, I think in today's Tribune, that the Foam Center, family of all murder victims, expands shelter project into 24-hour We Care relief facility. This, of course, is positive news, but I got a different story. $100,000 pledge injection in music to Exuma Youth Band, is music to Exuma Youth Band members' ears. That was in yesterday's Guardian in the lifestyle section. A band that brings almost every Exuma event to life with its vibrant sounds and pulsating rhythm recently received news that was music to its members' ears. A local couple pledged $100,000 for new instruments, uniforms, and expenses to equip and outfit the Exuma Youth Band. Bob and Jean Coughlin, Exuma residents for more than a decade, presented a check for $40,000 with the remainder in 3 installments of $20,000 over 12 months. The Coughlin said they were moved not only by the energy and talent of the band, but by what music does for the students who play and the community at large. Music teacher Thurman Johnson II, who is not involved with the band, said he encourages people to pay more attention to music education and indicated that there are more music scholarships available than athletic scholarships. There are more music scholarships available than athletic scholarships, and students would be surprised at where music can take them. Research has shown that students heavily involved in music are sharper than their peers because music works the left and right side of the brains, the creative and logical sides together at the same time, which is why I like to play music while we're having discussions on this show. It aids people into their senior years with things like dementia and Alzheimer's disease. Formed 14 years ago, the Exuma Youth Band was nurtured by police officer Kilalric Burrows and his wife Kanika Burrows for years until he was posted elsewhere. Today, the band that brings sound to the National Family Island Regatta, as well as the Run for Pompeii and Tour de Turquoise, I don't know how they pronounce it in French. I like to pronounce it in English. And more is overseen by acting band leader Samantha Ferguson. So we say thank you to the Coughlins, and we say thank you to the people who sustained it and to Ms. Ferguson in her role as acting band leader, and of course to the students, to the young people. Most of all, thank you to you for continuing to put in your effort and continuing to take advantage of the space that's available to you. So that's a little bit of positive news for the day, and now we're going to delve into the headlines. The numbers to call, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259, 242-300-5720, 242-300-5720. I see we got the line lit up right away. Let's go to the phone line. Good morning, caller.
Yeah, good morning, Erin. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year. How you do?
And all the best going forward in this election year.
Blessings.
But Erin, I call, I have a concern in reference to the park, the repair of the park in Sunshine Park.
Okay. Now, which constituency? Hold on. Which constituency is that?
Golden Gate.
Okay, I got you. Beyond that story.
Yeah.
Okay.
That park in 1981, we didn't have a park. All of the other areas had parks. We didn't have anything. But when Frank Watson was campaigning, we identified, we expressed to him that if he is elected, that we need to have a park. He said every area in New Providence have an area designated for a park. And once he is elected, he's going to look for it. And so said, so done. I told many rocks after that was flaring down in high school for this park to be constructed. But there in the park, our park, in Sunshine Park, has been one of the most run-down, dilapidated parks in the country. And I don't know the intricacies on what was going on in terms of the work. That ain't it. I'm not really interested in that. I see other communities having parks. We have kids in this area, and the park was beneficial for me growing up as a young man. It kept me out of problems when I could go on the court and bounce a basketball or get involved in some other community activity rather than getting involved in in things that made no sense. I don't know what Lincoln's problem is, but ever since that incident, all work has been ceased on that park, and I need that work to continue.
I get you.
I don't know who, what's going on, but this is the election year. Everyone can get theirs, and we need a park to facilitate the kids in Golden Gate. So
Without a doubt.
I would hopefully like to see that work continue on early this year, before this election cycle is over and done with.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. I didn't mean to cut you off. I just saying thank you for that contribution. It is an interesting space, right? Here's one resident who highlights the history of the park and the value and the importance of the park through their personal experience. All right. So here, let's delve into that quickly. We start with the Glover Roll story. Glover Roll says renovations of Golden Gates parks funded by Chinese community. After park renovations in the Golden Gates constituency sparked controversy regarding migrant workers, Golden Gates MP Pierre Glover Roll said the work was being fully funded and supported by members of the Bahamas' Chinese community. Bang. That means these are Bahamians. We call Bahamians Chinese ethnicity or Chinese descent, right? Who have formed an association and have contributed time, resources, and energy to fix the park. It's unfortunate. The caller says that the work has ceased. We're not quite certain why the work has ceased. We continue reading from the article. The renovations were met with backlash from COI leader Lincoln Bain, who held a 2-hour live stream on social media recording Chinese laborers as they carried out repairs. Full stop. Okay, watch this. That's invasive. I wouldn't come back out either. I mean, if I were a Bahamian doing volunteer work, I wouldn't come back out either, right? That is not the point of interrogation. That's not the point of engagement. It's disrespectful, right? And we're not going to encourage that. There are other points of entry into the interrogation, right? And I hope that I can raise some of those points for you. Bain questioned why those workers were hired instead of Bahamians who are out of work. In her statement, Glover Roll addressed the situation, insisting that renovations are not sidelining Bahamian workers. See, now we're going to stick a pin there because that's not necessarily the case, right? But this is also not necessarily a nefarious, right, thing happening here. Quote, the repairs being carried out today, which include minor repairs such as painting, replacing benches, and repairing playground equipment, are part of a range of community initiatives supported by private partners throughout the years. Quote, it is a voluntary act of community support focused solely on improving a shared public space for residents, especially young people. Okay, so we're going to stick a pin there. There's a problem with going out there and filming people while they're engaged in the activity. You don't know what the activity is. If you want to interrogate this like a private investigator, why don't you start with Beaches and Parks Authority? See, because I would start with Beaches and Parks Authority and make a determination of whether someone has already been assigned a contract for management of this area, right? And that's where you begin the interrogation. See, I can begin my interrogation here. Barnaby fails to address budget overrun by Beaches and Parks. See, the question is, why would members of a community need to contribute to a space if there is a budget set aside for the management of that space?
And not just that, they went over budget. So that means that means more have been poured into it. So
Right.
that shouldn't even be necessary at all.
So we get into the article. Despite the Bahamas Public Parks and Beaches Authority exceeding its 2024-2025 budget by $7 million, Executive Chairman Michael Barnaby made no mention of the authority during his budget contribution in the House of Assembly yesterday. See, this is where the problem lies. The community of Bahamians of Chinese ethnicity saw the problem and said, listen, we don't have time. We're not going to concern ourselves about why it's not done. We are just going to put our resources together and do it. That's a separate situation. Now we ask the chairman of the authority, hey, why is it that there's only one article that references your $7 million budget overrun and your unwillingness to address it at the time allotted to you to address it? That's where the interrogation should begin. Instead, Barnaby, I can read from the article, Barnaby also did not respond to criticism from some residents who have raised alarm over the deteriorating state of some public parks on New Providence. Instead, he spent his time lambasting the FNM and former PM Minnis over its handling of the COVID-19 pandemic. Full stop. This is the next sentence. Barnaby also spoke about the evil, quote, evil, close quotes, visited on Bahamians by the UBP and how the FNM and the UBP are forever linked. That's this summer. First of all, I want to say the first thing. I thought Travis Robinson had the record for becoming the old man the fastest. Travis Robinson got elected and that old man preacher voice dropped in his throat in 3 seconds. But Barnaby, you've been in the House for what, four years now? When did you become an old politician? See, because here's what I mean. Are you mimicking? Did somebody tell you to mimic Keith Bell? Bell spends majority of budget speech lambasting FNM. Did we not raggy Keith Bell sufficiently for that poor display of statesmanship? 2 hours allotted to you, but you only spend 30 minutes addressing what's happening in your ministry? Is that what's happening? That's not the role. I mean, Keith Bell, you are patient zero for a number of things, including we would have, and then we actually did. Anyway, back to the story. I wouldn't go on a park and harass people who look different from me. In fact, you don't even have to start with Barnaby. You could make a pleasant inquiry with the Chinese Bahamas Association to find out what is the name of this initiative and how can members of the COI support it?
Exactly. And I think that is probably the rationale behind the Bahamas Chinese Association. They were looking for something that, and this is something that we're supposed to do, right, as a community, get together and find solutions to problems we see. Last year, we saw the state of the parks and the beaches all over the Guardian. Kudos to Terrell Clinton for taking those photos, because the state was deplorable. And then when you look at the surplus, right, of the budget, where is the budget? Like this is why we need to see a breakdown in the future, because this is not the first time. Yes, this is not the first time. Okay, remember also when the FNM was in power, right? There was also some issues of the same sort with parks and beaches. There is something wrong with the system, right? So here is where I think we need to think about how we can probably restructure how contracts and etc. work at parks and beaches, so that it's not even necessary for groups like the Bahamas Chinese Association to say, oh, let's jump in and help and fix this community issue that will help the community. I'm familiar with Bahamas Chinese Association, and this is not out of pocket for them. They do things like this all the
Yes,
time.
because they valued access to public spaces and given
And
the
they see the benefit that
Right.
it has to the community.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
So that's what I'm saying. I think it's a problem with parks and beaches in general.
Oh yes.
Because this happens over and over again, and there's something wrong here.
In fact, from the article, Barnaby
We need
fails.
some transparency here with this budget for parks and beaches in the future.
Barnaby fails to address budget overrun by beaches and parks. Davis said the authority's budget increased. Oh, in 2021, after taking office, PM Davis, then Minister of Works Alfred Sayers, and Barnaby pointed to budget increases in the authority under the administration in the lead up to the 2021 general election. Sayers said there was a rash of contracts issued by the authority ahead of the September 16th general election, some without board approval. Barnaby said the increase in contracts looked like, quote, electioneering, close quotes. Quote, it looks like it, close quotes, he said in 2021, quote, it walks like it sounds like it, and we can see the impact of it. Where it was not a real financial decision that was being made, it appears to be a political decision, close quotes. That's what Barnaby said in 2021 when they went into office. Now, Barnaby says nothing. I mean, at least nothing about his authority in the time allotted to him to speak about it. 30 minutes, 30 minutes. 30 minutes.
And then how is it acceptable also to what's the word, deflect?
You mean
When
how
it's time for
acceptable?
you to stand up and say, give
culture-
a report on what you have been doing.
The culture in the house.
And exactly, I'm saying this more and more. And it's just not, and this is why I think a lot of Bahamians have, especially younger voters, they have political fatigue. Because you're trying to get the information, you're trying to understand what's happening, but the political games that are going on right now, it's just, it makes you wary. And so the last, the last election, we saw the lowest voter turnout. Blame it on COVID, they blame it on this, they blame it on that. Guess what? We're going to see this time, there's no excuse, right? We're going to really see if this is happening. And if that's the case, then I think our politicians in general need to take more accountability on the way they conduct themselves and their reports that they make and speeches that they make, so that people could comprehend and desire to listen, right?
Here's the article that sparked the whole discussion. Minister raises alarm over vehicles driving on Goodman's Bay Park. See, it don't even make sense when you say it. Why would a vehicle drive on a park? But see, the people in Montague thought they were going to set a precedent. They like to drive on the park as well. They've turned the whole park into a parking lot because their cars, right, in their eyes, are prioritized over the poor children who have to walk from Camp Road to get to the closest park, right, one of the nicest and closest parks to them, right? But their cars should have priority over the people who use the park and the people for whom the park is their only safe space. Because y'all don't be encouraging young people to sit outside in Camp Road, right? Let's go to the phone line. Here we go. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Erin. How are you?
I am good, thank you. How you doing?
I'm fantastic. This is Minister Pia Glover calling.
Good morning, ma'am.
I had to call in because my constituents are listening, and, they didn't take lightly to all of the antics that happened recently with the live, and so they told me that I should listen in.
Yes, ma'am.
So after listening in, I decided I'm going to call and address all this misinformation that was being spewed with this matter.
Mm-hmm.
So first and foremost, Golden Gate has 5 parks.
Mm-hmm.
And let me go back to the beginning.
Yes, ma'am.
Before I became the candidate, not the MP, there were park issues in Golden Gate. And my social media platforms reflect everything that has happened during the course of my term.
Yes, ma'am.
But when Mr. Folks was the MP, the parks were in utter disrepair. And I began then, not using government funds, obviously, using my personal funds, by repairing all of the lights on all of the parks in Golden Gate. The parks didn't have lights, and the constituents were concerned about that before becoming the candidate. When I became the MP, I put out a statement that I would repair the parks. Now, I know some people don't understand. When they hear large sums, it takes them off. So when they hear $150,000 in constituency allowance, they think that's a lot of money. But, my report, my annual report, will reflect spending in Golden Gates and the fact that that's a drop in the bucket to what we do in terms of infrastructural support and work in Golden Gate.
I imagine that you could use $1.5 million.
Easily.
Yes, ma'am.
In $150,000, that can repair a couple homes. Because I've repaired the homes in Golden Gate, all the small home repairs, but that's another subject.
Yes, ma'am.
So $150,000 to some people, it clearly sounds like a lot of money. But to repair and to do the work in a constituency, it's not. Another piece of misinformation before I get back to the parks is that members of parliament receive a stipend or money to upgrade parks. That is incorrect. Parks have maintenance contracts assigned. Maintenance meaning landscaping
Yes.
of the parks twice a month. That's what the contracts are issued for. There are no contracts issued for renovations and repairs of parks. That's false information.
Okay.
And for people who want to govern, they need to understand the facts. Okay? No member of parliament gets funds to repair and upgrade parks. Our constituency allowance is for infrastructure, however we choose to use it, and I assure you it can't even extend to parks based on the other infrastructural needs in communities. I have 5 parks in Golden Gate. This is not the first park that the Chinese Association has assisted with. They've completed Pebbles Park. There were no cameras then. The Bamboo Park was fully restored. Golden Gate Straight Park was restored. Southern Heights Park is being restored. Many other private organizations that I have engaged have come on board to assist with improving our parks. Because I'm not waiting for it to be done. I'm being proactive and going out and engaging private partnerships. Our farmers market, our fish market, the Nassau Cruise Port has partnered with us to bring the renovations of that. So you go out and you get partnerships. That's what you do. These parks are being restored. Sunshine Park is the final park. The Chinese Association, along with another partner, is working to restore that park, which is the gem of Golden Gates, if I should say so. This has been ongoing for my entire term. Other contractors who have adopted parks and have restored parks, they had other foreign nationals working on their teams. I don't tell them who they can have to work. If they said we're going to adopt this park, we're going to fix this park. I have had basketball courts resurfaced, walking tracks installed. When those contractors come and say they are going to provide assistance in restoring our parks, I say nothing in terms of who they can bring. That's an offer that they are providing.
Yes, ma'am.
I saw other nationals working on parks when renovations were being done. I didn't see any cameras come out then. I don't know if it's because the Chinese are of a different hue. I don't know. But the point is, they are providing a volunteer service. Bahamians say all the time, when organizations come into the country and they are investing in our country and they are starting companies or organizations, they should also give back to the community. Yet, when organizations give back to the community, sometimes you see that Bahamians complain. So it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't. But the point is, we are working to restore the parks in Golden Gate. I've seen the narrative that nothing is free. Well, that's people who don't understand charity and volunteerism, in my opinion.
Or they don't understand the value that other people extract from these public spaces. It's not free, and they are also able to enjoy this space.
Because they live in these communities as well.
Yes, ma'am.
You understand, Erin?
Yes, ma'am.
I've seen a false narrative, again, misinformation regarding the paint that's being used. They took a photo of it. Erin, there is something that is called red oxide, okay? And if they would have done their research, they would know that there are 2 types of red oxide. There's red lead oxide that is said to be toxic, and regulated. And there's red iron oxide, which is used as a primer, which is used to improve durability of wood and matters and material that may rust. It is a primer. It's used in construction. There's nothing nefarious about it. So this creation of hysteria, this misinformation, I have a problem with it, because if you're going to come find a solution, this is not a displacement of any Bahamian workers, because the Bahamian workers in Golden Gate who want jobs, they have them. I provide job opportunities on a regular basis. I provide job opportunities, and I will add this caveat, for those who would like to work. And those who aren't, I have been ensuring that I've sponsored them to go to National Training Agency, getting them into the National Apprenticeship Program, into the National Youth Guide. For those who aren't sure where they want to work, and if they want to work, let's get them a skill.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's get them a skill.
Mm-hmm.
So Golden Gate's young men who want to work are working. And I have assisted hundreds of them who have never had opportunities to enjoy gainful employment or to be able to run businesses of their own.
And develop economic agency.
And
Yes,
empowerment,
Yes,
which is a principle I stand on in Golden Gate. Empowerment, education, and enterprise are the three pillars I came into Golden Gates on, and I stand firmly on those. Everybody doesn't want to be an employee. But for those who want to be employers, I've provided the facilitation of opportunities, grants, through scholarships, through training, through upskilling, and through contract opportunities. Every park in Golden Gate has a contract for maintenance. It's held by a Bahamian in Golden Gate.
Awesome.
So I stand on my record, and I say to my constituent who called in, they will be back. But please understand, there's another narrative. Oh, they ran. If they're volunteers, why did they run? 2 hours on a live, I understand. I didn't watch it. 2 hours. They didn't run immediately, but after being harassed incessantly, the people apparently felt threatened.
Yes.
And didn't want to wait on their ride anymore. They tried to find escape.
Yes.
But I assure Golden Gate, my beloved Golden Gate, that is the final park that is under renovation. Southern Heights will be completed as well, but that is the final park, and they will be back because they're not doing anything that's untoward. They are doing something that is serving the community, of which some of them are a part, those same Chinese, and where they have a business, and where we spend, the Bahamian people are spending money in their businesses, and they have no issue with returning the favor, ensuring that they give back to the community of which they are a part of.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much,
Erin.
Minister. The last thing I want to say is they are doing what any Bahamian or group of Bahamians can do. You can form an association of any nature. I call mine the Raccoon Association of the Bahamas. But you can organize yourself and create a structure that other Bahamians can plug into for initiatives like community cleanup projects. Thank you very much, Minister.
Precisely.
And feel free to call the show at any time, and also to reach out and let us know when you're ready to come on here and talk more broadly about what you're doing in Golden Gate's constituency. Just before you go, I want to say two more things. The first is, has the Golden Gates constituency, at the constituency level, considered lobbying to ensure that when public infrastructure is damaged in traffic accidents, that those responsible or liable for the accident are caused to pay for the cost of infrastructural repair? I know that it's supposed to happen. I'm not sure if it is happening as quickly as it could to ensure that constituencies can get infrastructure repaired as quickly as possible, because I've been told it costs $1,000 just to change a light bulb. So I can imagine what the actual cost is to replace a light pole that's been damaged in an accident.
Well, of course, Erin, I can only speak from a localized perspective in Golden Gate.
Yes,
when
ma'am.
there are accidents, I get involved. We work through the Ministry of Works or any other ministry that is responsible for whatever has transpired. We engage the necessary requisites there. And of course, I work along with the constituent or constituency to get it fixed, whether that's a light pole, whether that's somebody's wall, whatever infrastructure it is, we work together as the member of parliament and the community to resolve the matter along with the government agency that's involved. That's what should happen.
Awesome.
And that's how you get things repaired quickly.
Yes,
of
ma'am.
course.
Absolutely. The last thing is we need some mulches. We need mulches. And to the people who are always community minded, the young men are willing to work. There are structures that they can now plug into to organize themselves. Mulches and a coconut mulching machine. I'm sure that as a group of young men right now in the Golden Gates constituency, just like mine, Montague, who are prepared to organize themselves and begin a economic journey, right? So I just wanted to throw that plug in there while we're having this conversation.
So let's talk about that as well. I know what I've assisted persons in Golden Gates with. When they organize, and you use the proper word, organize, you have to have some type of structure. You come together, you organize. The government of the Bahamas has provided many avenues for assistance for persons who are desirous of becoming entrepreneurs or small business owners. There's the Small Business Development Corp Access Accelerator. There's now the Ministry of Agriculture who provides grants of those natures, especially when it comes to coconut. And now I see peanut vendors as well is where they are focusing. So they have to organize and plug into the opportunities that exist in the country that the government has provided to provide handouts to small business enterprises, because that is something that the government is encouraging. Opportunities for all. No, everyone does not want to be an employee. And we talk about the youth unemployment rate. When we poll the young people, they don't want to be a worker. They want to be an owner. So now we have to make sure we're putting programs in place like Upscale Bahamas, like Opportunity Hub, like the NTA, like National Youth Guard to give our young people the skills so that they can actually own their own businesses and do so successfully with the skills that they have attained.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much, Minister. Again,
You're
feel free to
welcome.
call in or walk in at any time. At any time.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, Erin. You take care.
You too. All right, producer, let's go to the phone line. Good morning, caller. Thank you for your patience.
Hey, good morning, Erin.
Good morning.
Powerful discussion this morning, man.
Thank you.
And I'll tell you why, Erin. I organize community event every year in the community I grew up in, right? And it amazes me that people always look for the MP, right? Listen, man, if you organize yourselves, people, many can help one, you know.
Yes.
It's hard for one to help many.
There you go.
If things are free, people are on board. But if there's investment in their community, I don't understand why people just shun away, right? The member of parliament's job is not to take care of his constituents. His job is to go in there and make laws, him or her, that cause you to thrive.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes,
I'm not looking for an MP to give me no money. You know this, if 10 people give $10, I mean, let's say towards someone who's hungry. You know the effect that can cause on that person? Stop waiting for the MP. Organize yourselves.
Absolutely. That's the message.
You know what I mean? I'm tired. I mean, people saying, "Oh, the MP, the MP, your family too."
And the MP relies on us to organize ourselves so we could work together.
Listen, I do tours sometimes in Blair States, right? Blair.
Yes, sir.
And I just draw a comparison. I said, man, look at the park. It's organized for the people. A community crime watch. When you organize, people give you more respect. The police will come more sooner when you organize.
Yes, sir.
You understand me? Like you can go and organize yourself as an association and get things done. You don't need a member of parliament. Now, sometimes the member of parliament can help you, right? But if you organize yourself, man, look here, there's so much things that can happen beneficial to the community.
Yeah.
I mean, it's mind blowing. Stop waiting on the government to do everything for you.
Yeah.
Help yourself.
Absolutely.
It's your community.
Thank you.
That's where you live.
Yes,
Thanks,
sir.
Erin.
Thank you very much. Listen, let's go to the next caller, producer. I want to send a shout out to Keno Wong from Johnson Terrace Community. See, I know Keno Wong was vying for a PLPO nomination. I don't know if he got it or not. But at the same time, I don't know if y'all see this boy. He's a prime example. He didn't need to be an MP to organize these things, and he didn't do it by himself, right? Man, Johnson Terrace Community, and they park. That's a vibrant community. Good morning, caller. Good morning, caller. Did I miss you? I'm sorry. Good morning, caller.
Hello.
Hi, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Miss Greene.
Good morning. How you doing?
Yeah, whilst all those contributions were very well and good from the MP, et cetera, and I have no problem with it. I just, for me, the airways really, when information is given out, I think the truth should be told, right? You say I had a problem with trying to explain the difference between vaccination and immunization. But people are so dogmatically blind. But I just want to get into this, what the minister said as it relates to lead, right? I'm a dummy in chemistry, but, I just never stopped learning from my left high school. I barely passed the O level, right? But it's PBO. So on paints, my brother's a painter. And I've got friends who paint and they had developed problems because of inhaling the paint and not putting enough water to absorb the toxins in the air, right? Lead is not lead displaces calcium because it's more electronegative or positive. I can't remember. A current chemistry student could call and correct me, but you should know what I'm talking about. So the fact that she said lead oxide is not toxic.
No, that's not what she said. No, that's not what she said.
Harmful or whatever.
No, not at all. Not at all, 52. She said that.
Right, but hold on. I thought she said something that.
I know, but let me clear it up. She said there are two types of the product. One is a lead oxide and one is an iron oxide. She acknowledged that the lead oxide can be toxic and must be used in specific situations. And then she indicated that they were using the iron oxide derivative of the product and not the lead. Yeah. There we go.
Oh, well, I just thought I'd clear it up because it seems to me as if, not even, this is a different topic now. It's just that I send a text sometimes and the host don't read it, right? But I just want people to know that in suppressing people, in this day of information and you have it in your hand, if somebody says something on the radio, this has nothing to do with what the minister said because I might have missed items in and out.
Yeah, I got you.
But what I'm saying is, it hurts my heart to know that people don't know the truth when they hear it. And it really is discouraging me from even calling the airways and dispensing the truth anymore to anybody because when people don't know the truth, it makes one who knows the truth look like a fool. So apparently George Orwell is totally correct. But what I'm saying is, Mr. Greene, why didn't the talk shows go on Google or AI and read the difference between immunization and vaccination rather than just dismissing me? It's very hurtful and insulting. I can't have anything good to say about that because it doesn't make sense to me. It is senseless.
52.
It's senseless. You could discredit someone or give them credence.
I got you, 52.
The airways is useless unless you're doing that.
I got you, 52.
But I want you to verify something else for me. Muffet called and said that when a car is impounded, like if there's no license insurance, the policeman, the law, it says 300 a day. I thought it was 300 just to retrieve the car. I don't know if it's 300 a day. Could you verify that?
Okay, I'll try and verify that for you. And what you're going to listen to right now after this next caller is me and Crystal struggle for the last 5 minutes of the show because Crystal is doing training in community development, so she ought to respond to this topic. Let's go to the next caller. Good morning, caller. Good morning, caller.
Good morning. How you doing?
Hi, good, thank you.
Okay, I listened to the minister, right?
Yes, sir.
She said they had a private partnership, right?
But no, not a PPP. This is another example of existing activities where a local community association, in this instance, Bahamians of Chinese descent, organized themselves with other community partners, as just like how Atlantis adopted Montague Beach. It's the same sort of thing. It's not a PPP though.
But what I'm saying though, right? See, our people are very touchy. If they see a Chinese doing painting on the park, that's gonna call raise a flag. Right?
Yeah.
I think what she should have done is say, no, something. If you want to be a private partnership with us, all right. I'm gonna get a few guys, and you could sponsor the payment. Right.
Okay. So your model is: listen, we appreciate the support, the effort, the commitment. Could you make your donation financial so that for this particular park we could pay residents to do it? I'm sure there are groups that'll do that as well. But I don't think it's nefarious.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. See, here's my thing. I don't like it when people use ordinary people's sentiments to build political credit. Don't take advantage of Bahamian sensitivities about migration to draw attention to your political campaign. And it is problematic for both Bahamians and for the constituents, the people you interrogating. I had another.
Right.
I also think we need to be a little bit more mature about this. It just because you see somebody who looks Asian, right, or that does not, that you should not be offended. You know, when you see something like that, you don't know who they are. You don't know if they're Chinese Bahamians. You don't know how this thing was orchestrated. A group of people came together to do something, right? And they said, okay, this is our commitment. Yes, if you want to involve, like Minister Glover said, if you want to involve more Bahamians or constituents, yes, that's fine. But we need to stop. We need to be more mature as a community, as a people, and we need to stop discriminating against people or being worried that, oh, if I'm employing Asian people, then people will look down on me. No, like Bahamians go abroad to work all the time. You know what I mean? So you have to be sensitive. You want people to be sensitive to you. You have to also consider that.
Yeah, I think to the caller's point.
It's about being mature.
Right, but to the caller's point and to the point I was making earlier, I think people's legitimate concerns are being misdirected by somebody who has an agenda.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And the focus shouldn't be, why y'all got Chinese people here?
The color of your skin.
It is
should not be the focus.
why would a community effort be necessary? Or even better, should beaches and parks now explain to us what happened with the $7 million budget overrun?
So this is what I was
Right.
getting to Erin.
But let's get the caller. Let's get to the caller. Good morning, caller.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Good, thank you.
Awesome. This is Lincoln Bain.
Good morning, sir.
Awesome. I was surprised that y'all didn't call me to get my viewpoint on this. You're discussing me, but you didn't feel the necessity.
I'm not
to call me.
No, Lincoln. I'm not discussing you. I'm not playing politics. I ain't doing any of that. I don't have your number. So I can't call you to bring you on air. I didn't call the minister. The minister explained clearly how it is she made it to the show, right? All I'm saying is, why not start with your inquiry with the minister, with the MP for the area, and with beaches and parks, and then with a private request for answers from the various Chinese Bahamian associations in the country.
I think on many instances, Bahamians have done that and gotten no answer. We've had the opposition in the House of Assembly ask questions of the government and gotten no answer. And the fact of the matter is, if you don't have evidence of something taking place, then maybe people won't believe that it took place. What we did is what every responsible citizen should do. Responsible citizens called. They got no response from whoever they were calling in government or from the constituency, and so they decided to call us.
What's no response? Hold on, stick a pin. What's no response? Did somebody in the constituency office, who's likely a secretary or clerical staff, say, I don't have that information, I don't know what you're talking about?
I'm not going to speak for anyone else. If they are listening, they can call. I can tell you.
But you are speaking. But you are speaking. No. You made a point. I'm asking you what happened. If you're not speaking for other people, why are you speaking for other people?
But yes, someone told me that they tried to reach out and they could not get any positive response. I also.
But what's a pause? Hold on. What's a pause? What's a positive response? This is a great line of inquiry. See, for me, I have called government ministries so many times that I end up calling the secretary to the cabinet, right? Now, I'm going to talk about privilege. I have my mother's voice. So when I call, people typically know who I am, and they may tend to be more helpful, right? I understand that not everybody can enjoy that privilege, right? So I'm making the point that there is a system that lacks transparency and is not organized in a way where information is readily available.
I agree.
That does
100%.
That does not suggest, though, that because your people could not get answers in this particular instance,
that's not my people.
That
they
it's
were concerned
right.
residents.
The concerned residents. It does not mean because they could not get answers in this particular instance that there is something nefarious going on. It could just be.
No one ever said that there was something nefarious going on, and that's the point I want to get to.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing wrong if you see persons, you live in a cul-de-sac and you see persons roaming in your neighborhood that normally wouldn't be there, there's nothing wrong with a concerned citizen saying, "Hi, can I help you? What's going on here? Why are you here?" There's nothing wrong with that.
Okay, cool.
There's nothing
No, I
wrong
agree.
with
Hold on.
transparency.
I agree.
And so,
Hold on. I agree.
Please let me speak.
No, I'm speaking. We could do it right now, and I could show the people who think I'm only rude to the PLP or only rude to the FNM that I am an equal opportunity
No, you
critic.
let the minister speak, but you're not letting me speak.
Because you're not a minister. Because you're not a minister.
You have 4 minutes left.
No, yeah. Because you're not a minister. Right? Listen, recording people for 2 hours. You already see them assembled on the park. Right? So now you say, you go to the constituency office right away and you say, hey, are you aware that there's a team of people doing work on the park?
Because it has implications. Right?
And there's a difference between...
That's the issue. The issue was like, what is being implied here? People who only watch 5 minutes of the 2 hour or whatever, what are they going to take from it?
Right.
How are they going to think about this? How are they going to feel about this? You know, what? And so because people called in, I didn't watch it either.
Mm-hmm.
Because people called in and they were saying, you know, this is happening, it sounded like the reaction was already, why all these Chinese here? You know, why these foreigners here working on our parks when we should have Bahamians here? That was the issue.
You capture images for 2 hours, pointed at the people, letting them know you having a show about them. That is invasive.
And so I could give a little bit of grace and nuance here too, to say that there's media literacy is also a part of this, and we know that sometimes people don't interpret things well, and so that's the nuance.
Listen, let me tell you all something. I just find out today, I was today years old when I find out that the Guardian radio WhatsApp line is up and running. Here's a text. Please tell the minister to send 10 pothole patches through Pride Estates number 3. There's about 10 potholes there. Texter, I got your message. I'm sorry that we were unable to get through all of the texts today. We going to a break, producer? I know you all hear my producer giving me heavy critique. As my bad, producer. And to the sponsors, listen, I am sorry. Erin, the minister, is a servant of the people. Bain should be respected as a citizen. Yes, he should be respected as a citizen. And we were trying to have a critical conversation. That's it. We're trying to have a critical conversation. I get to ask questions. Right? You see, when the minister spoke, I had already asked the questions, and it was obvious from the minister's response that she was responding to the questions, even if not directly. Right? The whole saga calls for local government. I did not hear the MP mention local government. I think they love the idea of handouts. I think that the whole system has become a patronage system, and it's difficult to move outside of that. I'm not accusing any individual minister of patronage, right?
We also need to talk about the role of the MP as well. So that is the lack of knowledge about that is causing some misunderstanding as well, based on what a lot of callers and texters are saying.
Yeah.
So.
To this texter here, GuardianTalkRadio.com is the link online. I'll check it out once I get on off air. Communities are already struggling. They can't afford to help. We being taxed to death. Oh, no. It turns out, I know what the problem is. I'm going to try to save all of these texts. We almost all out of time. You know what the problem is? We've got more dollars than cents. And we've lost a sense of ourselves in that addiction to money. I'm not blaming you for being addicted to money, because you were addicted to money off the breast. This is deeper than one individual's inability to control themselves financially. We have a culture of more dollars than cents. But texter, Erin, today you all two are wrong. There's nothing wrong with citizens asking why foreigners in their constituency. No, there's not. But for 2 hours, for 2 hours, and you didn't go to any of the relevant people who would have given you the correct answer, and you want me to vote you into government so you could waste more of my money doing foolishness?
At Cleveland Clinic, care is everything. So when your primary purpose is to care for the world, you'd start with your community until you're accessible anywhere. You make complexities your specialties and put compassion before anything else. All to redefine what's possible. For everyone, everywhere. For every care in the world. Cleveland Clinic.
Struggling to find your financial rhythm? Make that move to Fidelity and let us help you orchestrate your financial goals into perfect harmony with free financial coaching sessions. Make that move today. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.